Hey guys, I was talking to George from Low Cost SEO and he had a couple of tips and tricks about how to leverage your SEO and some things that you might not know that Google is looking for. So I thought I'd bring him in today so he could have share with you all this information. So George.
Yeah, all right. Well, look, there's probably like 100 out there. I'll just give you a few and then maybe we can do some more videos in the future on some extra stuff.
Definitely.
But look, I think one good tip or trick to understand is the way that the algorithms work and the things that they look out for. You need to think of them as blind, even though they have eyes now, believe it or not. The Google algorithm can actually see now. But if you think of it as a blind person, when they look at a site, they look at the data, the metadata behind the site, the keywords in the copy, and what each page is talking about. So for example, if you're a photographer and you're particularly a wedding photographer, if your homepage talks about christenings and photography or photography in the Blue Mountains, but you're chasing wedding photography and that's not on there, then you're not going to rank as well as a website that might have wedding photography Sydney.
Because they're looking to send you to the most relevant page and that's their whole
Exactly.
model.
So what the algorithm does is it says, right, what is the most relevant page in the world, if not in Australia or even in a suburb, for that one particular term? So who is talking about that business about wedding photography in Sydney? Have they used that in the title? Have they used that in the meta description? Do they talk about, is there a wedding photography gallery on the site? Is there content talking about wedding photography in Sydney? Is that what they kind of only do? If the answer is yes, then then you've basically enhanced or SEO'd the page to point itself or to give indicators to the algorithm that that is an important page for that topic, and hence you normally tend to rank a bit better. But then that's not to be confused with going into the page and putting wedding photography in there like 45 times. So it's Bernard's wedding photography business. We do wedding photography. Did you know that we're a wedding photographer? Because our wedding photography is great. So do not do that. You'll get blacklisted straight away. So it's putting focus.
Because this is bad to trick the system.
Correct.
Yeah,
it's gaming the system
Google
and then you can get blacklisted.
Yeah.
Right? Okay. Yeah. So the second trick is there's a tool called Google Sites. And then what you can do is you can put your URL into Google Sites, and then what it'll do is it'll investigate the code and how your site has been built and how friendly it is to the algorithm. So a good SEO agency or something you can do at home, and you can then give it to the developers, you run that through Google Sites and it tells you all the problems, how visible the site is, what needs to be fixed, your caching, getting the site to be faster, to run faster, how it looks on mobile. And you can take that report and give it to your developer, and just by the developer fixing that and even making the site a HTTPS, so a secure site, that also appeals to Google. They like that. That's best practice.
And faster sites and stuff like that. I've seen
faster sites,
a bit more critical about that as well. The load time on your site.
Better design, all that stuff is really important. So that's a really good tip and trick. What else? I think the other good things are. With backlinking, if you can reach out to similar directories or niche markets and sponsor an article on those sites. For example, if you're a wedding photographer and you have a wedding photographer directory, it's also good to get your article on those directories and then get those people speaking about your business or pointing to your business, to your particular pages, because that then also gives indicators.
So could you also leverage, let's say, a related industry within the space? So if you're a wedding photographer, you could offer to write a free blog for a really cake maker or wedding dresses or something
That's
like
an actual strategy.
Or jewelry, even jewelry. If somebody's writing about wedding jewelry, you could then create another sub blog for.
So in our industry, that's called shoulder niching. So because it's a shoulder niche. It's a good strategy to utilize because there's only so many people you could always reach out to at the end of the day, right?
How big is your database? How big is your reach?
Exactly. So if you hit up shoulder niches, they get an article that's well written about another shoulder niche in their industry. They're getting content written for them for their own site, which also helps them rank. And then the other site's getting the benefit. If that site that you're putting on has also got some decent SEO, then you then get reciprocal benefit, what's called domain authority, from that site as well, which then helps your site. And leading into that, my last tip is work on your what's called your domain authority. So in other words, how trusted you are as a website to Google, and your page authority, how good the content is on your site, and how many other people are referencing that page on the internet to make that page relevant. Because sites with good domain authority and good page authority that are quite specific about what they're writing about also rank really high. So that's my tips for today.
Awesome. Yeah, so there's some good information in there. We will be putting together a couple more of these tips and tricks videos. So guys, keep in the loop with our videos, and we'll keep feeding you all the information. Hope you found that one helpful, and we'll talk soon.
See ya.
Awesome.
Yeah.